Mr. Mark Clayton, Ambassador of the United Kingdom, welcome to Georgia Today interview.
Thank you.
The UK allocated £5 million for Georgia so that the country can protect itself from Russian cyber attacks. I'd like to know more about this act of support and will this be continuing?
The £5 million that we announced just a couple of weeks ago around the NATO summit is actually an expansion and a continuation of a long-standing program that we have working with Georgia on cybersecurity. I'm really pleased that we were able to announce that expansion. It's certainly a priority area of work for this embassy, and that will continue. I'm absolutely confident for the foreseeable future. But I think it's really important to put that in context. That £5 million comes on cybersecurity comes against the backdrop of a really large and expanding relationship on defence and security in the round. That covers both defence capability building and training, both on NATO and on UK bilateral channels. We have an extensive relationship in Georgia on countering disinformation, which is really important at the current time. We work intensively with the Georgian government and with civil society on tackling Georgia's protracted conflicts. There are large programs and a lot of engagement on political reform and democracy institution building, governance in particular, where we're supporting your civil service to grow. And then finally, and really important, there's an important economic and trading relationship, but also I tend to put in that sphere the work that the British Council does to support the creative industry, to support cultural ties between the UK and Georgia, and critically, of course, the work that they do on English language training. I think it's easy to think of that as an education initiative. To me, that is an investment in Georgia's future. It's an investment in the next generation, and it's an investment in Georgia's economy. Better levels of English for everyone will help Georgia's continued integration into a wider European economy, and that's a positive thing.
Georgia's on its way to getting EU candidacy status, but the union we are willing to join UK left 2 years ago. What would the ambassador, as a representative of that country, advise us to do?
Well, it's not my position to advise Georgia to do anything, but what I would say is there's a fundamental, really important principle at stake here, which is a really basic principle of democracy. So the British people voted in a referendum and said that they wanted to leave the European Union, and that's what we've done. As far as I'm aware, opinion polls in Georgia say consistently that the Georgian people want to join the European Union and NATO. Every major political party that is out there says that their goals are to support that wish and to move towards European Union and NATO membership. So I think then the question becomes, well, if you're serious about respecting that democratic will and you are serious about democracy in its most basic form, then the job is one of how do you as government and how do you as a political class working together work to tackle the homework questions that the European Union has set.
The war in Ukraine changed European architecture once and forever. The Trilateral Alliance idea is no more the subject of discussion. What challenges do we face right now, and may we see some other alliance initiatives from the UK?
Trilateral Alliance, as you call it, has had probably undue attention here in Georgia. We were very clear. The UK, together with Poland and Ukraine, has established a memorandum of understanding on cooperation in security matters. That was an aspiration to sort of capture a really strong relationship that we already enjoyed with both Poland and Ukraine on security issues and defence. That memorandum is in action right now in support of Ukraine while it's currently under attack from Russia. You're absolutely right. Russia's unprovoked attack on Ukraine has completely upturned European and, in fact, global security. The UK, along with a whole bunch of allies and partners, is really, really clear. We will continue to support Ukraine in defence of its sovereignty and territorial integrity, and we will do so until Russia fails. When it comes to the wider European security architecture, I think we're also really clear. NATO for the UK will always remain the bedrock of European security. it's a sign of both how catastrophic Putin's miscalculation has been, but also how important NATO is for European security, that as a result of that invasion, what you've actually seen is the alliance getting stronger. You've got more commitments for troops and defensive material to the alliance. You've got a committed, resolute alliance in a way which is stronger than ever. Critically, of course, you've had Sweden and Finland joining, so the alliance has got stronger. But I think my government is also really clear that European security does not stop at the borders of the alliance. The Prime Minister and Foreign Secretary have been really clear that we have to do more to support countries which aren't in NATO, but which are at risk of aggression and under threat from Russia. So they have explicitly named Georgia in that list, alongside Moldova and the Western Balkans. At the NATO summit a few weeks ago now, the alliance agreed a new package of tailored support for Georgia, and certainly one of my priorities into the future will be making sure that the UK is playing its part in delivering that package, building on actually a really comprehensive package of support that the UK is already giving on defence.
In the past few months, we've seen unprecedented polarization between parties. Tell us your opinion on that, and what are the ways out of this deadlock?
Georgia is not unique in having a polarized society, right? There are polarized society all around the world on different sorts of issues. For me, the challenge for Georgia is not polarization, it's personalization. There is a really clear task ahead. And I'll come back to what I've said before because I feel really strongly about it. The Georgian people say they want European Union and NATO membership. Every single party out there says they want European Union and NATO membership. So the challenge for the political elite is to stop squabbling and actually work together to deliver that common goal that the people have said they want, and meet, when it comes to the EU membership, to meet that list of actions. I think currently, as far as I can see, the parties spend more time accusing each other of polarization than actually cracking on with that job in hand. And I feel very strongly that the diversionary tactics of attacking actually Georgia's greatest allies and partners, the criticism in the media that we've seen of the US, who Georgia regularly names a strategic partner, criticism of the European Union, claiming that EU, US and others want to drag Georgia into a war, is a total distraction from the job in hand. So I really hope that in the future, as well as stopping attacking each other, the Georgian politicians will stop attacking their friends and partners and crack on with the job in hand.
While the opposition is antipathetic towards some of the media, the ruling party has an aggressive attitude towards critical TV channels. How to solve these problems?
Georgia has certainly got a rich and varied media landscape, but I hesitate to call much of it independent. And it's certainly a very different landscape to the one which operates in the UK, where standards of public service broadcasting are extremely high, and all outlets, no matter what their background, are obliged by law to actually present a fair and accurate picture of the truth. Certainly over the time I've been here, it's very clear to me that the Georgian media landscape operates very differently to it does in the UK. There's a job to be done to make progress on EU and NATO membership, and the situation in the world doesn't make that easy. Russia's unprovoked attack against Ukraine continues. The economic consequences of that are becoming are very acute. There are plenty of problems to be done. What people, I think the Georgian public deserve, is an honest, open and transparent discussion and debate with their political leadership that allows them to understand what's going on, and critically what the government and the political leadership across the board are doing to tackle that. I think getting the media is a really key vehicle for getting those messages and getting that information out there. So I think, again, I think the fracturing of the media landscape, which reflects some of that polarization that you've talked about earlier, is not helpful in that regard. And so I would encourage, all politicians to take advantage of all the channels that are open to them to get their points across and engage in principled debate rather than personalized attacks on their opponents.
Ambassador Clayton, it's been my pleasure to have an interview with you. Wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much.